housing market is facing a storm that we have not seen in quite some time. We have over 1.4 million Canadians that have already missed at least one mortgage payment. Now you might be thinking, that's not the biggest deal, but that is not a prediction. That's what's actually happening right now in our real estate market, in the GTA specifically. Now, families, they're under pressure like never before. In Toronto alone, there are tens of thousands of condo units that we've talked about countless times sitting empty, unsold right now. And reports are showing right now we have over 20,000 units already empty, 24,000 units unsold that are condos, and another 30,000 units plus that are set to actually be completed throughout the rest of 2025. Now, that's years of supply all at once that's going to be just dropped right into the market. So we're going to break down here what's actually happening. Now, it's not just about interest rates or affordability. The real danger here is in the debt that a lot of Canadian people have and are carrying, and they don't even realize how much it actually is. Now, what I mean when I say that is for years, most homeowners, they've been treating their homes kind of like a bank where you can pull out some equity, use it for other things like going to buy a pre-construction project, using it to maybe pay off some of the other things like a renovation inside your house. And you use the money to pay off credit, student loans, all of these things. Now, what happens is when you pull that money out and you refinance your home, you are taking on more debt. You are taking on a bigger mortgage. And on paper, sometimes this looks fine, but a lot of people decided to do that during that pandemic time when rates were so low. And because of that, they renewed their mortgage at a much higher rate. And that was 1 to 2%. But we are right now seeing rates 4, 5%. So there's a very big difference. And the problem with timing is people did this in 2021, 2022, sometimes 2020. So we're seeing this trickle-down effect that's starting to happen right now where those mortgages are coming up for renewal. People are going to have a massive increase in their payments. In some cases, people have 2.5% fixed, and they're going to be, best case, 3.75%, 4%. So they are going to be stretching their affordability with their income, and they might not be able to make their payments, or they're going to be really strapped for cash every single month. Now, in terms of the Bank of Canada, they have made a 0.25 reduction recently, and the interest rate history is interesting. I mean, there's people in Brampton, Mississauga, and Toronto every single week that I'm talking to in these GTA areas that we deal with, and it's very much the similar story. There's little nuances for every person, but they're stretching themselves a little bit thin. The salary is something that is not growing, and they know these renewals are going to hit pretty soon. So the solution for most people, unfortunately, in Canada is borrow more money. And the problem is the banks, they could potentially get bailed out if things go horrible, but I don't think we're going to get bailed out per se. So you might be taking on extra debt. You might think, okay, great, maybe we're going to get extended amortizations, have more time to pay it off. But ultimately, we're not the top priority for a lot of the repayments. If things go wrong, we are going to be on the hook, and it's going to be potentially pretty rough for people who live in Ontario and the rest of Canada. And we have to kind of look back at that 1990s crash. The average home price was 4 times the average household income. And we know things didn't go so well. Today in 2025, it's like 12 to 4 times the income in most major cities. Now, Toronto neighborhoods, obviously, they can be much higher because the pricing is higher. Sometimes that gets up to 14 to 16 times the actual income. And that is not something that is sustainable whatsoever. So what happens when things go wrong and people can't actually keep up here? Developers, we're seeing it right now. They're actually getting stuck on some of these projects, and people aren't buying the projects, or people are walking away from their deposits, and they can't qualify for financing when it's time to move into these buildings. That's one of the biggest problems we're seeing right now. And maybe it's somebody that's watching this, that you're listening to this and you're saying, wow, that sounds similar to me, but maybe it's not. Just know it is happening in our market right now. There's people who are unfortunately getting notification from the builder saying, hey, your unit's going to be ready in 2 months, and you are not being approved for the mortgage that you thought you were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when you actually purchased this unit via pre-construction. So things have changed quite a lot. Now, there are a lot of other debts that people are racking up. It's not just your mortgage debt. We've got student debt, we've got car debt, we've got grocery bills, we've got a lot of different living costs. And Canadians, most of them have one job that pays one income that has a small increase every single year. Most of them are not in a position where they own a business. They can make more money or make less money if they desire to. And these jobs, we're hearing, might also be in jeopardy with some of the new AI positions in terms of automation that are coming out. So there's a lot of different whirlwinds of emotions that might be coming into a lot of these people's minds. Are you worried about AI? I can't afford my payments already. What the hell am I going to do on renewal? So there's like a big storm almost that's kind of coming out here, and we really just need to look at the big picture, see where we are in this personally. We can't help everyone. Obviously, we can educate. That's what this video is about, is telling you what's going on out there, preparing you. Maybe you're in some of these situations here and we need to figure out, okay, what are the next steps? What is your plan of action here? If you have a renewal coming up, you should probably start really building up that reserve right now, saving more money, paying less for certain things, maybe going out a little bit less. Save up for that increase in your payments. If it's a job situation that you're worried about with the wave of AI coming, figure out how your life is going to change and how everybody's life is going to change with these jobs. What jobs are going to be less impacted by AI, and maybe you want to transition into another job potentially. And when it comes to your other payments and making sure your family and your home life is secure, you really need to focus on your family first. And a lot of that stems down to making sure your finances are in check. You need to make sure there's food on the table for your family. You need to make sure that they have a roof over their head. And sometimes that decision ends up being, I can't keep the home that I own, but it might make more sense to rent and use that equity to pay for our lives. So there's a lot of different things to consider here. So why does this crisis feel a little bit different right now in 2025? It's because household debt is at a record high, unemployment record high, interest rates, they're not at a record high, but they're a lot higher than they have been. And the affordability gap is so much wider than it's ever been throughout Canadian history. Now, at the end of the day, if you're a home buyer, there might be some opportunity here. If you're a home seller, you need to think about what that long-term looks like for you specifically. So depending on what that situation is and who's watching this video, there's going to be certain things in this scenario that you can either take advantage of or be a little bit more protective of to make sure you make it through this storm. I would love to know your opinion in the comment section down below. Do you think we are building up a little bit more of that storm that's going to be like those 1990 storms that we've dealt with because of the amount the houses cost versus the amount the average person makes, combined with all the additional household expenses? Or do you think we are going to be lucky enough to be bailed out should things go wrong and things hit the fan? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll talk to you in the next one.